Al isn't.
We have life.
There he is.
It's our. Doing it since our last meeting.
Yeah.
It's like spinach.
Yes.
Let me bring our last council meeting, we're gonna still hold many meetings here.
Seven, no, what? All right, well, the meeting to order, transfer vote of reflection. Yeah. Approve the, hang on a second,
I had a question.
sorry, had a brain fart. Yes, go ahead, question.
Did include two of them.
Is it on
About the
one?
minutes, we're supposed to have a motion
Yeah.
before we discuss.
Okay.
I moved.
Have a
I'll
motion
second.
and seconded, okay, in which case discussion, go.
I think there's two copies of the July 8th. One has an additional I don't know. There's just two in a row, right? Am I crazy? No.
Yeah.
We didn't get taken out. There was one that had.
One has a comment for Jessica Frick. And the other one doesn't.
Oh.
There's more than just the date.
Are you sure it's not a continuation on?
Where is the?
Well, that is interesting.
And there's two, and then under old business. One has a comment by member Frick after the authority statement, the other one does not.
It doesn't, it looks like
Or maybe they
Wait.
do, I don't know.
because
There's something
there was no work session, so it should
Did
have.
this get printed out of order also somehow?
I don't know what the difference is. There was one.
This page is just, this page was doubled. The
Yeah.
page
Yeah.
was doubled.
As we all go cross eyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Like we all looked at it, we promise.
Yes.
Somehow.
The one. The last page was printed twice.
Yeah, it's really confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure when you're looking at it. on-
Middle page. No,
That's good.
okay. Glad they missed that.
The Wi-Fi is really awful here today. Wants us to leave.
Okay, in which case then moving on to the June 2025 financial report. Have a motion to approve.
motion to approve?
We have a motion and a second, all right. There. Just any discussion on this. We'll read it briefly, nothing jumped out too specific. Is there two of these we missed it? Oh, no, only one. Nicole, do you have anything specific about this or? Talk about it later or talk about it?
Yeah, well, we
committee?
could talk about more stuff with admin.
Okay. Any questions about the financials? Which case? I do. Wow,
We had a motion, second.
yeah, thank you. That was discussion. All in favor of approving the June financial report, see if I'm saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Stop thinking there for a moment. All right. Moving on to public comment. I apologize. I didn't grab the sheet. Did any of you find folks sign up for public comment? Or maybe either would be the more correct way to phrase it. No, all right, which case?
Would you like to talk?
Oh, I'm just here for shade tree.
And she's
I
gonna
actually
support
have
me.
a general
Yeah.
public comment, so.
Okay.
Okay, which case then, I guess, moving along from public comment onto the presentation.
Well, I don't, so it's a presentation, we're just.
Well, you wrote the agenda, not me, but. Whenever you're ready, sir, Nicole, you want
Yes.
to introduce him?
Yes, this is Mike, McCabe, we were working, he's from, Raymond St. James. You weren't in here prior to.
No, I was not.
Yeah, they came in and did a, presentation and we moved forward with going for the solar. So now, within the next couple months, we're gonna have the ordinance coming before you, so this is the time. He's gonna talk about it, so that way, when you get the ordinance next month, you know, if we have questions, now's the time.
Thanks. Bond.
This is the bond.
Yeah,
Okay,
So yeah, thank you. It's good to meet everybody. It is the first time I was here. My coworker Ryan Brockman was here when EIS was here making that presentation. I'm thinking of back in May.
yeah,
And so back in May, everybody was saying, oh, well into the future, we're gonna have to talk about taking out the debt. And that sounded really far away, but guess what? It is today. So here we are. I'm just here today to explain what's going to happen and answer any questions and make sure you all understand and are gonna know what's happening before somebody shows up and asks you to do something. That's the gist of what today is.
okay,
So you probably may recall that the plan of finance was to borrow the funds for the project through the Rural Finance Water Authority. And it's a pooled program. It pulls with other municipalities together into one big borrowing to save on costs and there's a lot of advantages. We looked at a lot of other options for the borough and determined that this was the best option because of the size of the borrowing and the fact that you needed to go out on a 30-year term. So the last, back in June 30th, there were 5 Pennsylvania municipalities that borrowed in it. So this September 30th, Indiana's turn to borrow. The rates are gonna be in the low 5s, fixed rates, for 30 years. You've seen the projections and, you know, we'll update those as we get a little bit closer. But really what's gonna happen from, a debt perspective and just remembering that debt is debt. No matter if you went to the bank down the street, you did an official bond issue, publicly sold, or you borrowed through the pool. From the state's perspective, any debt is debt, so it has to be filed with DCD, go through the whole process. Which means the borough is going to have to pass a debt ordinance. And so that will be happening at your meeting on August 19th. And we'll be presented with an ordinance at that meeting. It'll be advertised in the newspaper, so you'll see that. I think it's 5 business days prior. A copy will be available at the borough office in case any citizens want to come and view it. But that is the date that that will happen. Another anomaly, the way the DCD and the state does things is that we know that you're gonna be borrowing approximately $1 million. However, when we go to file with DCD, we have to do what's called parameters or not to exceed debt ordinance. So what you're going to see is actually an ordinance that's going to be for more than what you need to borrow. It's going to be for, let's say, it's probably gonna be about $1.4 million. So not to worry, because if you read the ordinance, it's gonna, there's provisions in there that make sure that you're gonna borrow what you need to borrow. But the way the local unit government debt act reads is that we need to build a parameter that we can borrow. And the way I describe it is, without taking up 20 minutes to describe how everything works with DCD, we have to build a box that's big enough to fit all the parameters that make it work. And so if we build the box, we have to build it big enough so we don't have to start all over again. If we build it too small, that means we have to re-advertise, you have to vote again. We don't want to build it too big so that the citizens kind of freak out and see, oh, we're borrowing $2 million when we're only borrowing 1 million. So we're gonna make the box as small as we can, but we have to make it big enough so we don't have to start all over. So that's the reason why you'll see it at 1 point, I'm using round numbers, but you'll see it at about 1.4, but you're really only gonna be borrowing about $1 million. So that's what you'll see when you consider that ordinance on the 19th of August. Then at that point, that's really all you'll have to do for a little while. The bonds at the pool level will be sold in mid-September. So that'll take all the other municipalities that are gonna be borrowing at once. And last June, it was actually 17 other municipalities. They sold all the debt. And your $1 million will go into that. And in mid-September, the rate will be actually locked in. So your rate is gonna be locked on that date. It's gonna be fixed the whole life of the issue. Can't change. It will never change unless you choose to refinance it. You'll be, the borough will have the ability to prepay or refinance without any penalty after 10 years. So that's fairly typical for the bond market. And again, the rates right now are in the low fives. It's where 4.30 a year, which is pretty good. And then you'll have a closing on September 30th, and that's when the money will be wired to the borough. Nicole, you're gonna have a project fund set up, and then at that point, it's, this is a general obligation borrowing, so you'll be able to just write checks against that debt. And if you've spent some money already and you need to reimburse some of the funds you've already used, that day transfers can be made back. As soon as the wire hits. So, everything else, that you heard is still right on track. It's just a matter of, this is the next step of the process. And, the solar guy, EIS, they're doing what they're doing. My job at Raymond James is to make sure you have the money to complete the project. So these are the steps that we're gonna have to take. The next time you see me, there will be an ordinance and you will be taking a vote and there'll be something to do. So I wanted to make sure that I was here before that so that it just wasn't sprung on you. I've been a council person myself where I live and I appreciated that. So try to live by my own game. So having finished my monologue, is there anybody that has any questions as to what's going to happen?
I think we might have talked about this, for when we get those rebate credits back, hopefully it should all go through, right? Those rebates, right, Jonathan?
Right.
We could still put that towards the fund, right, that's not, we can prepay those rebates without a penalty.
Before I speak. we have that set up so that those monies don't count for that 10-year prepayment. So
Okay.
yes, we're actually having debt mature at that point. So that you're gonna technically be paying down with that credit.
Okay, that's, okay,
Yes, yeah, we have that structured in the whole analysis.
okay, because when you just mentioned that about.
It's the
10
balance
years.
thereafter that you
Yeah.
have to wait to the 10th year.
Okay,
So we're not allowed to even pay it down until 10 years, so we can't make a single extra payment until 10 years?
So the debt is going to be a mortgage style. You'll be making principal payments as you go. If you want to make more, an additional payment, you can make it,
we probably won't. Probably
you
be like
can,
10
you
years.
can pay it down, but. You know, it depends. It's not gonna be dollar for dollar, I'll put it that way.
Why not?
Because when buyers buy the bonds, they have an expectation that they're gonna have, it's an investment.
Okay, sure,
And
sure.
so they have an expectation that they're gonna have it for some period of time. And so
So that, isn't that the 10-year mark though?
that's the 10-year mark, yeah.
Right, so I don't mean pay it off, sir, we can't even make, so a single, I'm gonna make up a number.
Well,
If
the
you're
tax
paying-
credit
The
payment.
tax credit.
But that's excluded.
Yeah,
So
that,
if we put
Right, so that's.
so side,
$5,000 towards
yeah,
it.
so let's say you get to year 5 and you have an extra, something coming, $50,000 you're gonna put toward this. The way that you would do that more than likely is put that money in a fund and invest it.
Yeah.
And let it grow
And
until,
that's just the terms of, because it's a bond, et
yeah,
cetera. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
So we could take the rebate, put it in a fund, or an interest.
And then move it over after 10.
Move it over,
Like pay
yeah.
well, no, what we're saying is we're gonna structure it so. That credit does come in and pay down.
Oh,
the debt.
okay.
That was
Yeah,
already part of
we
that.
know we're working that into the transaction from the beginning,
Yeah.
we know that's coming in.
Alright,
But in order to just get the interest rate you're giving us, or whoever's giving it to us, the
Yes.
point is, that in order to get that interest rate. We're agreeing to basically leave the loan balance alone, other than normal payments for 10 years.
Yes.
Because that will generate a certain return that you're guaranteed, I don't know if guaranteed is the right word, but. Selling to the person buying
Yeah,
right, okay, I understand.
yep, yeah, so the buyer wants, they're doing all the research, they wanna buy bond, they wanna buy this debt. And they wanna have some expectation that they have it for some period of time.
Right, at whatever interest rate they're
Yes.
locking in for, understood.
Well, in this case, it's gonna be in the low 5s, cause we're gonna lock it in and.
Well,
September.
sure, but I don't know how much that passes to them
About-
directly. or-
No, it's,
Gotcha,
this is debt, so this is gonna be, we're the underwriter or the. Broker, if you will.
okay,
So this is a public bond sale, even though it's a pool. So, we're facilitating the sale of it. But they're the buyer, you're the seller, you're selling the bonds to the public. The buyers of these bonds are buying your debt. And so on the closing, that's what's gonna happen. They get your bonds, you get their money. And, we're,
and you
We're
have
out
a
of it.
fee or something basically on, outside of that specific number?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I just have one other question, and I apologize. Do you mind restating, why is the windows, why is there a 40% increase on what we're stating we're gonna sign up for? To go to 1.4 million when we're only thinking we're gonna need 1 million, feels like a large window. You explained it, I missed part of it somehow,
Yeah.
please.
it's a question that we get every time. The way the local unit government debt act is, you have to, there's three prongs to, when you do a debt ordinance ahead of the sale.
Okay,
You have to have a not to exceed principal amount,
right,
a not to exceed, annual principal and interest payment. So every year throughout the 30 years, and then not to exceed interest. So we have to make it so, let's say, for example, rates go to 5.5 or something like that. So we need to put 5.5 in for the rates, and then we need to, if we need to move principal around. To make sure everything lines up correctly. And then finally, the third test. So between all those three tests, we have to give ourselves enough room or maneuvering ability
Understood,
to,
okay,
to do that. But what the ordinance is really gonna say is, you know, you're gonna borrow what is in, there'll be a final agreement that locks everything in, that you're gonna authorize, actually, you know, you as council president to sign, and if you don't sign it, you know, the ordinance is moot. Nothing's gonna happen
Well-
until you lock, so there's safeguards in it to make sure that, you know, nobody overborrow, you're gonna,
right.
you're gonna
right,
get
right.
exactly what you're, you know.
Understood. Okay, yeah, I
To-
missed the
to-
part where there's the three different variables, and so I apologize for that, but thank you for re-explaining.
Well, we're talking about interest rates. One thing that I noticed is in the model that we have from EIS, they modeled per you requested a 4.07% interest rate. Was there a significant change in June compared to what you quoted them? Because it's likely that we'll be experiencing greater than 1% change.
The last time we ran it was, okay. I don't know that rates were that low,
I mean, I think 1% is pretty, I mean, it's quite a bit, but it's marginal still at the same time.
actually,
But if-
you're,
when we
this is
hear-
a, this is a 25-year, I misspoke, I thought this was, in my mind, I thought this was a 30-year, we're doing a 25-year financing, right? And so it'll probably be closer to 5. I don't think it's gonna have that much of a change in the numbers.
But I know that EIS is gonna be getting back to us with another model. Before they start construction, because if you coordinate with them to get the right interest rate.
Yes, absolutely. So this schedule that you see.
Yeah.
I prepare that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I get their inputs and then I put the debt service in and we make sure that everything, you know, ends up, you know, positive on the far end of that
Thank you.
cash flow analysis. So yes, we'll work with them to make sure everything
Right.
works properly.
Any other question?
You guys are taking care of the advertisement. everything.
We take care of the advertising,
Submitting
yes,
everything to DC.
yes.
Perfect.
So do we need to vote to advertise?
Yeah.
That would be next time, that's next time,
Time,
sorry,
that's
sorry.
when we have the ordinance. Yeah, we're gonna.
Work session.
Yeah, so you're already advertising, so we don't even have to vote to advertise, we're just voting on the ordinance. Cause normally we vote to advertise the ordinance. Cause we spend this much, but you're doing the advertisement for us, so we're just passing the ordinance.
Yeah, that's up to you. We're advertising under the Debt Act. So, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know how you do, you know, some people
It's just-
interpret it a little bit.
Yeah. well, it's works-
All Pat.
Yeah, I don't think it,
Well, he'd be here for work, for the work, so we just ask him
Yeah.
that. Or ask him maybe. a day
we're
before, so-
passing the work session, we're passing it at work session, the ordinance. So
Wait.
maybe we vote now to move forward with the advertising,
If you authorize the advertisement, then I don't see where that would be how
authorize
could that be?
Raymond James to move forward with the
Yeah.
advertising.
Maybe not necessary, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
which
yeah, I don't think.
really suck if we should have and didn't.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Right, okay, in which case then,
To, separate James.
Sorry.
Advertiser.
moved and seconded, so this doesn't cost money.
no, cause
Yeah.
they're doing it.
Okay,
now.
just,
You
yeah,
guys are
we're just
spending the
designate
money.
them as advertising.
Yes.
So we can just do a yay or nay then, correct? That's right. All in favor of approving the motion? Well, I suppose, is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Just in case.
Yeah, I
We
think
got
that
it
was
on
a.
record.
no, that was
Just
good.
to be safe.
Yeah.
No, we don't wanna get crossed up by. any-
Yeah, that way when it comes to council for the work session.
We had already designated them that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause that would get,
Yeah.
we don't.
Okay.
All right, well, sir, I very much appreciate.
Thank
Thank you very much. I'll see you all on the 19th.
All right,
Do that.
thank you very much.
5 years in the making.
In which case then, moving on to committee reports. So we start us off, Peter, with the administration.
Let's start with the motions we have. The early motions that we made for the community development block grant funding. The first one is to approve resolution 205R10, outlining the 2025 community development block grant entitlement program on behalf of Indiana Borough.
It does not need a second. This is authorizing someone else to spend grant money. Does that mean we need a roll call vote or not? No? Okay, in which case, any discussion on the motion? Came from committee, so, and it's pretty much every year. So,
Same thing here.
okay, all in favor of motion as it stands, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Motion carries.
Second motion is to approve the cooperation agreement with the county. All of a sudden, the screen is going. I don't like this Windows 11, it does strange things to me. I got it.
Joke there.
Motion to approve cooperation agreement outlining the 2025 Community Development Block Grant entitlement program on behalf of Indiana Borough. This is the agreement with the county, I believe.
All right, which
Because
case,
they administered this for us.
this also came from committee, so no second. Is there any further discussion on this motion? No discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Okay. Then the most interesting thing that we discussed at the administration committee meeting, which I think everybody exactly was the pilot program that the county is willing to enter into with us. The payment in lieu of taxes. When the First Commonwealth Bank gave that one building that looks like a bank downtown to the county, that removed it from the tax rolls. But the county is willing to give us an annual payment in lieu of paying taxes on it. So of course we're all wary about that. We liked it.
Do we have any update on that?
We're gonna go together, the school board, the county, and us, we'll do one agreement. And then the solicitors are talking among themselves, but of course, that's on vacation. So, yes, we're gonna do one agreement with the three entities.
Okay, so we would have to approve it, and then the school board would have to approve it, right?
And the county.
Well, right, okay.
And our piece bigger than the school board.
Probably not.
All righty. Okay, any else?
Okay, other than that, we heard from the parking department about repairs to the garage. The HR consulting was supposed to hold a conflict resolution training yesterday, or a couple days ago.
Did have that, I'll talk about it in my report.
So that's good. And that's all I've got. Unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Peter? She comes through. Thank you, Peter. Moving on to meet it all, which I just found in the logs. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so Trajan updated us on the Zoom in its final stages here. And so some upcoming, I'll use the word charrette. 25th and 26th. It's almost a charade. I think, again, most people, if not everyone, was here, so. I assume on community development, we'll get more updates on the priority setting. And so not a whole lot to, oh, maybe we have an update now.
If you haven't done your survey, please complete your survey.
Oh, for crying out loud, people.
Have done. The
You
last
can't
I-
leave tonight until you do.
The last I heard,
Okay.
there was one outstanding, so if you haven't completed your survey,
I'm not against public.
Is that individual not here as well?
I don't know. That's the last I heard. I'm not actually involved, I'm just a messenger.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure.
I did.
Well. Go further, figure out who it is and I will. Fill out the 7-minute survey. Anyway, okay.
Who has said?
We would if we could get through this meeting.
You're right. Wouldn't have to talk about it, people do the 7-minute survey, and I'll get minutes back. Okay, that's all for community development, unless anyone has any questions, not terribly involved this next meeting, so, okay. Moving on to whatever comes after community development, 57 safety away, public safety.
Okay, I'll go with the motion first. This had been seconded. I mean, it doesn't need a seconded in committee. The motion is to approve the downtown Indiana Cornhole Tournament Special Event Application for the first annual Cornhole Tournament and band sponsored by DI on the 0 block of South Carpenter Avenue, that's the alleyway between Philadelphia and Gompers on Saturday, August 16th, from 10 in the morning to 10 in the evening. And it came through committee, so it doesn't need a second.
Right, is there any further discussion?
Mr. President, there should be an open container waiver attached to that.
Oh, yeah.
So, certain,
Okay, so do we
They would
need a
want that.
second amendment to the motion? Is that how that works? So we should add it on here, or does that matter?
well, I think that we could just add just one sentence to the motion to say an open container waiver. We did, I think, discuss that public safety.
Yeah, I
If
remember it.
recall, someone asked if
Yeah, I
it
did.
needed an open container waiver, and the answer was yes, so.
Okay, so if we amend it, does it trigger the need of a second? Somebody just say.
We're gonna need to amend it and then code the.
Sure. I would move to amend,
Okay,
Move to amend to include the open.
to include open container.
I'll second that.
okay, so move it seconded, any further discussion?
Okay, we gotta vote on the amendment.
Right, so all in favor of approving the amendment to the motion, signify by saying
Aye.
any opposed.
Now,
Motion carries, the amendment motion carries. Okay,
Now we have sort of.
right, okay, so we've amended the motion. It didn't technically answer my question. Do we now need a second on the motion because
No.
the
we
motion?
just amended the motion.
Okay, making sure. So we
So now
do
we
not
just
need a second.
Vote on the
Approve
amended motion.
have the DI having the first annual cornhole tournament with the open waiver.
Open container. Okay, any
Open
further
container.
discussion on this particular tongue twister? I mean, motion. No, okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hey, motion carries. Oh, right. I did not mean to say nay out loud.
I just want to bring up with public safety that Chief Shaw said that at public safety next week, he will be talking about the mid-year review. And
Even if you're not on committee, if you want to know, show up.
yeah, not much else is going to say about what's going on, but
I have a quick question. It might be for a chief. So, there, at some point you were gonna talk more about the safety from, when was that? The PennDOT traffic.
Safety at public safety.
This month, okay,
Yes.
okay. I thought it was coming up, just wanted to double check. That was my only question. Anyone else have any questions for public safety? No, all right then, moving on to the reports. Please.
All right, we'll jump into the motions first. These are all came through committee, but so they don't need seconds. The first one is a motion to approve pay application 3 for contract 2024-1 in the amount of $80,719.65 to Preferred Contracting Incorporated.
All right, not need a second, but we do need a roll call. I suppose we should say, is there any other discussion on this motion? No, in which case, we do need a roll call, so we'll spend it money.
Rod,
Yes.
Colada. Visor,
Yes.
Brick. Lancaster.
Yes.
Newell,
Yes.
Sarniso,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the second motion is a motion to approve pay application for contract 2024-2 in the amount of $20,608.05 to TP Electric Incorporated.
All right, any further discussion on this motion? Excuse me. Okay. Be a roll call vote again, please.
Rod,
Yes.
Colada. Visor,
Yes.
Brick. Lancaster,
Yes.
Newell,
Yes.
Sarniso,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
6 yes, 2 absent.
Motion carries.
All right, this is the third one, this is a change order. Motion to approve change order 2 for contract 2024-2 in the amount of $27,291.00 to TP Electric Incorporated.
The second necessary, any discussion on the motion? No discussion on the motion, we need a roll call vote as well, though, please.
Rod,
Yes.
Palazzo. Visor,
Yes.
Brick. Lancaster,
Yes.
Newell,
Yes.
Sarniso,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
6 yes, 2 absent.
Motion carried. Roll carried.
All right, rest of updates from Public Works. I think most of us were in attendance, but last month. I mean, and continuing, there's a lot of construction around town. I'm sure you're all aware of that. We also had 2 high flow events at the wastewater treatment plant, and the detention facility was used in one of those events. The bulk of the rain fell very shortly and in one moment, really. Moving forward to the engineering report, we are almost done with the Borough building. We are working forward to getting the Act 537 plan finished. We are waiting for a few final steps that DEP has brought back. The Marsh Run Stream Stabilization Phase 2 is approaching, and we've got a bunch of wastewater treatment improvements moving forward, and we paid, we ended up paying a few of those now. And the Eisenhower School storm drainage was hopefully successfully repaired.
Rain since then.
Hasn't rained yet, we'll find out what happens, but hopefully no more flooding in the or individual's basement. Beyond that, we discussed raising the wages for the park department summer help because we're not getting anyone to bite at the $10 an hour.
Yeah, that's good. That you guys want to make a motion? Or
Yeah.
you guys-
She starts at 1365 for helpers. Just saying. I
I'm
almost sent you a picture of it.
I'm okay with whatever you got.
Okay,
That's.
is that coming forward on this week or
Out of that, yeah.
Okay. So we'll make a motion for an amount.
Well, do we need to make the motion before we can talk about the amount? Because that feels a little silly in this particular application.
Well, why don't we just discuss the topic?
Sure, why don't we do that first? Yeah, because we
All
talked about a lot of things, but
Yeah.
long and short of it is
I
that we
think-
thought the dollar amount was too low. Hence why
Yeah,
we're
we-
having trouble maintaining the employee.
There was a number of numbers suggested, $15 was one of the numbers suggested.
Yeah, sort of.
And again, it's
And
just.
considering the union, I would hedge like a 1350, right? If that's the lowest paid union worker. But they don't receive benefits.
But the
They don't receive
union member is
benefits.
gonna receive things that this individual's not gonna get.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to go to adjusted cost of union benefits,
Yes.
then he's gonna make like, I don't know, $37. I don't know. It'll be way more than 1350.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea of what the adjusted benefit?
I think it should be at least 16. He said he lost his last worker to a $16 an hour landscape job.
Yeah,
So-
because it's a manual
It
labor
is.
job and
And it's paid
More
W
for
two, so
that.
they receive it.
And as a landscaper, I would probably have offered more than $16 an hour. Like I would have, any new hire coming in, I probably would have offered more than that for in my company. So I don't think $16 an hour is out of the realm of appropriate for the context of what this person will be asked to do.
Yeah, we're looking at college, like, right out of high school, between the ones that come home for college or, during the summer months, or only here a couple months. And then, you know. And it was hard. We've had them at $10. My son did it for 2 summers. He's like, heck on that after a while,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it is.
Like, again, you can go work for, I mean, if you wanna work outside, you can go get, now, don't get me wrong, going to work for me is probably gonna be harder than an average day in the parks department. But it's still the wage, I mean, for comparable wage,
Yeah, and it's comes out of that summer wage helper, so it's,
We have a sense of where the union will find.
no, they're fine with, they know it's a summer help. And we bring our-
Which case.
1550.
Someone needs to make just a motion.
That's it.
But you all you.
Yeah. We say,
I'll go whatever anybody else wants to. She's not.
Fine, I move to offer $16 an hour to summer help in the parks department.
I second that.
That's it.
Well, now who runs the meeting?
I second it. How about that, Kate?
It's just
Okay, all right.
Okay.
There we go.
Seconds.
I was just trying to move it forward.
Well, we would have been stuck, so we're gonna call the vote.
Okay. All right, any more discussion on the motion? Okay, since this is spending money, we probably need a roll call, sorry.
Rod,
Yes,
Palazzo. Bizer,
Yes.
Brick. Lancaster,
Yes.
Newell,
Yes.
Sarniso,
Yes.
Smith,
yes.
6 yes, 2 absent.
So.
Motion carries.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I think that's it for public works unless anyone has any questions. Questions?
Sorry, I'm just making a note here. Okay. Yes, on to commission reports, thank you. Peter, for planning.
okay. At their meeting. First is what we're talking about zoning. And there's real concern about. What happens with commercial properties, residential zones. We're talking. More specifically about East Philadelphia Street, because there are a number of businesses that are in. Which is otherwise a low density. Formerly known as R1 zone. And we've decided that we need. to seek guidance from the solicitor. To see what kind of rules. That we need to have. Governing. What happens with those. There is some concern about the current rules. Those properties can be converted into multifamily residences with more than 5 unrelated individuals living in them, because it's still a commercial property then, right now it's
And
commercial,
they don't want that to go.
and they don't want that to happen. They don't want to
Why
take.
not? Why not?
Yeah.
I feel like this, they're
I've.
all over the place because before us.
What's the zoning?
I know, I don't understand, because in every meeting and all these talks, it's like we need to have mixed neighborhoods that have multifamily residences, but now that we have an area that has potential for multifamily residences, I think we should.
Hey.
Well, I think the concern is actually legitimate, right? Because there's a number of multi-residence buildings like up for sale or going into bankruptcy currently. Because they base their model on student abuse and abuse.
Right,
So I get the warning, but I think. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because it should be like a mixed use space.
right.
It makes more Makes more sense. than
Yeah.
having more
Zoning.
mixed space.
No, I,
I mean, planning commission meeting.
We're just trying to think, what's on the other side? That's where the storage buildings are after the tracks, if I recall.
what are we talking?
Well, but
Down Philly, they're either right before or right after.
there are a
If you're
number
going
of
this way,
They're talking
east
about-
or on west side.
things. So,
One to
there's
13,
an insurance company,
Yeah, there's some homes, I mean,
it's mostly homes, it's mostly,
but
Yeah.
on 11th to Philly, there's one single family, but it's all commercial or multi.
and yet that's not how it's zoned.
Right, I mean, but isn't there, where we're going through a zoning process?
Part of the.
Yes, right, yeah.
Right, and for the revised thing, we've got a schedule now for the zoning ordinance update. There's a public hearing scheduled for August 18th. It'll be advertised for public display. It's already been advertised for public display. We're supposed to adopt it at the September 2nd meeting.
Right, 'cause we were gonna talk about it in the build month, right?
I thought they were gonna come in on, Michael Bank, they were gonna come in at 6 on the 19th. Wasn't that discussed? I thought we were gonna come in early.
We don't,
Yeah.
I didn't have that in my notes.
Oh,
Really.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Beyond that. Um.
Right.
We heard about the H recorder project.
Yeah.
With the charrette.
So-
It's coming up next month. We are still waiting for a response. From PHMC for their review of the cultural resources survey here. Were people bidding on the Patty Bell properties?
We're getting that out. We didn't put that, we were working with Pat
Yeah, we
to
did.
some clarification on how we want to advertise that, but yes, we were working on the advertisement.
And then there was some discussion about as we had at public safety, about the impact of the Homer City data center. In the influx of people and. Is that going to affect us? In terms of housing and so forth.
sure hope so. Oh, you said, how is it going to? It will, yes. But I hope it fills all the houses.
And that's what I have. The zoning commission. Way back and today. Nick Harris apparently has been doing this with other members of council, walk on his idea for
It's a lovely walk.
Wait,
the Grand Park.
Yeah, the Grand Park, you've not been on
Jumping on the tour?
the individual Nick Harris Grand Park tour. Well, you'll have to get a hold of him, he'll take you on a walk,
I wanna meet.
tell you his vision.
I'll go,
He's
yeah.
building a house directly over a stream.
I love it.
Yeah.
We'll keep that.
It's just- You know, we're gonna build a house over a body of water.
Garage.
Sure, this concrete slab will last forever. How do you fix it? You know what, it doesn't matter, it's not what we're here to talk about. So.
Anyhow, that's what I have. Zoning commission.
Okay,
Great.
any questions for the planning commission?
Planning commission, yes, that's okay.
Thanks, Peter.
In which case, we have a lovely shade tree representative. Would you care to please give us whatever it is you came here to say?
I attended the meeting.
Oh, sorry,
I will share. Is that good?
I forgot you went, I'm so sorry. So,
That's okay. You have minutes from the last meeting in your agenda. That's a good thing.
They're all up to date except for May now, so.
It was an excellent reorganization meeting. And I'll, you can read what was there. There's an update on when, the ordinance revision will come to council, but hopefully by October. And I'll turn it over to Ange.
Yeah, so I mean, we've really been working on kind of restructuring, reimagining what we want the commission to do. In the past, I mean, this is gonna be my 10th year on the Shade Tree Commission, and I can tell you very much in the past how everything operated. When we didn't have parks at that time was under Public Works and zoning, of the zoning, I'm sorry. code, thank you. Under code, and so a lot of times when we would move forward, we've had, I think, 2 different revisions for our ordinance in the time I've been there. And a lot of that was brought to the table from code, from Public Works, and from our arborist. So the actual commission, we would meet in our monthly meetings, discuss possible changes, okay, certain things, ultimately bring it to a vote for us, and then to the Borough Council for a vote. So this is really the first time that we've kind of a little bit been more involved and on our own with this process. Our previous arborist was working on it. He has since left. We have a new arborist, and we're really kind of starting from scratch. I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot that needs to be changed as far as the shade tree ordinance. There are things that we really do need to focus on, like the fact that the last time it was revised, there wasn't a Parks Department. So everything really needs to be changed over from Public Works to Parks. And there's other things that we're gonna have to work through as far as when it comes to code and enforcement of certain specifications our ordinance has, like what do we really have to move forward? I mean, we can maybe issue a citation, but who's gonna do the work thereafter? So those are just kind of some of the things that we've talked about. We also still have 40,000 in ARP monies that we have for a big project. I know that they're not technically ARP monies anymore, but we do have that 40,000. The other 40,000 of it we had used to set up an account to help people, different property owners pay for tree removals, limb prunings. We've had quite a few. I'm not sure where we are in that account, but I think about maybe half of it.
Yeah, half of it is used.
So, and then once we get the ordinance under control, our hope is we formed a subcommittee of 3 individuals, but welcoming everyone from our commission or anyone, from council that does want to attend. I'll make sure that we send out the emails when our subcommittee is meeting. But our hope is to have something drafted from the Shade Tree Commission by our October meeting, which is the last Monday, 4th Monday of October. Which means then we could get that draft and present the draft to you guys at your November meeting and hopefully be rolling the ball on this before the holiday of December. That's our goal. I'm not 110% we'll get there by October, but we have a meeting, I think in 2 weeks. I'll send out an email. It's myself, Brett Rives, and Jason Leeper are on the subcommittee to start getting the ball rolling on some of the things we know we need to change. And then after that, looking just a little bit into the future, hopefully, sometime in the beginning of next year, we really want to nail down a 5-year plan. We've never really had the ability to do that. Prior to a handful of years ago, Shade Tree operated on like a $17,000 budget, which wasn't actualized in tax revenue every single year. So we didn't even get that little bit of a budget. But moving in with parks, that's taken a chunk of our budget that was for pruning, for tree work. That's taken that out of the budget. So we could do something different with it. So it does give us a little bit more money. And within the last year, I think our budget is now up to 24,000. I think it's what somewhere around there.
Increase, it comes out to 22, so.
Yeah,
That's still good.
yeah. So I mean, we're really happy with that. We'll take every penny that we can get. And since the fact that we still have this $40,000 to do a bigger project with, and Eden has been really, a main part of us getting a couple of grants that we've received this year.
It's a good time to mention
Yeah,
those 2
and
grants.
we would have never happened without you. So we appreciate all of your hard work, and we hope that with a 5-year plan, nailed down with it, at least drafted and the ideas of what we want to do, that will make it easier to apply for grants in the future because we'll have plans ready. Like, yes, this is what our goal is to do. Here's what we need to do it. And hopefully be able to, award us more grant money in the future. So it's kind of like what we're looking at right now. I know in the fall planting, there's a little bit going on with your project for Church Street. So we're not really sure if we're gonna be able to have parks plant a couple of, we want a Bare Roots tree grant. And they're gonna do some planting down from, I guess, on the corner of North 5th and Oak it's my street, didn't know why I couldn't remember that. But on the corner of Oak and North Fifth there, they're gonna plant some trees towards the junior high. So if we have to, since it wouldn't be a union issue, we can contract out to do it, but we're not really sure of the scope of the job since they're just bare roots. They're not gonna be huge trees that really require a lot. So I think we'll be able to work that out regardless. We have the money to do it if we need other people to come and do it for us, so.
Any questions, Ranch?
I want to thank you for your hard work.
Yes.
Sure, sure.
I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's just, it's really kind of a new opportunity for all of us. We have a number of new members on the commission and a lot more control over direction. And that's really something new in the 10 years I've been there, so. Yeah, and I'm always happy, to come to any meetings. I think Betsy might be our point person, at this point, so, but if there's ever any questions or, feel free to email me, feel free to contact me. I think most people have my email or my number, so. You just wanna keep communication up, so we're, all on the same page with everything and hopefully have better communication coming to you in the way of notes or in the way of one of the council members.
You've got it.
Are you guys aware of the 2 grants we received for trees? Did you get?
We didn't, I mean, since we passed them, but we were awarded 2 grants over the past 2 weeks, really. The first one being the Bare Root Tree Program by Tree Pennsylvania, that's coordinated with the DCNR, so that is the project that Andrew's speaking about on Fifth Street, so we did get 15 free trees. Our match is in kind labor, so hopefully the Parks Department will be able to do this, so we didn't have to pay for that, Shade Tree won't have to pay for that. And then we applied for the day after another program called Healthy Planet, I believe, or Healing the Planet, and that's run by the grocer Giant. And there was a $4,000 grant that we, I think, matched with like 2,200 or something like that to replace 20 trees.
On Church
That's
Street.
the Church Street project, so without Shade Tree having even a fall planting, we have 35 trees that will be going in, thanks to these 2 grants.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. And we had Justin and brought that grant to us, pushing it towards the Church Street project because you guys had this plan laid out for how
Yeah.
long. So it's really exciting that, you were awarded that grant.
Nice job, so nice one.
Yeah.
Hannah, that's a grant a week. So that's what we expect.
July is a busy month for grants.
And that Church Street grant was like, oh, let's do this in 24 hours. Like,
It was, yeah, it was, I was like, I can do it, let's do tomorrow. There are a lot of grants for trees out there, so now once Shade Tree has a plan, there's a lot of opportunities out there and hopefully it'll stay that way. It is a good state to plant trees, so.
Eden really did that, the Church Street grant in less than 24 hours. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it
that's
was like incredible that we were awarded it is amazing
Yeah.
work.
But the key is to have that information. Luckily, Ryan had the information already because we were already looking into that.
Which would be, a
Which would-
plan would help.
If having this
immensely.
plan, that stuff is ready to go. Yeah, and they're not
Really happy to hear it.
waiting, calling people at the last minute to try to get an estimate,
Fantastic.
And I'll be after meetings and,
Thank you, Betsy.
this is good. So thank you.
We're glad you're coming back.
I'm glad you're here.
I mean, you used to be on the Shade Tree
Yeah.
Commission, so,
Good.
yeah.
Okay, thank you again. Any questions? Just, are you like posed for the next person to ask you a question, or are you just sitting with your mouth open?
I'm just like,
Okay,
Things are going so smoothly.
all right, Ms. James, thank you again for Shade Tree. I love it. On to personnel reports. Borough manager, please take it away.
Okay, yes, we are gonna be moving back, next week. We're, gonna be moving our stuff in now. I'm not, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be fully up and running. I have high hopes for internet, phone systems for a smooth transition. I do want to though say we are gonna continue to hold our meetings here for the month of August, just because our chairs and our sound system is not quite done yet over at the council room. It looks wonderful. We're still working on our sound system and the chairs are not in yet for council table. So a little bit longer before we can go over there, but if you're dropping over there to drop off bills and any, to come see the mayor, come see us, we'll be over there.
I have a chair.
He has a chair.
Bring it down to the council.
Chief's
That's not your mayor.
So with that being said, yes, we're excited. Eden's gonna post, we'll have that out to the public. Just, bear with us the next Thursday and Friday. We're kind of gonna be working in here, getting stuff packed up. And then Monday, Tuesday, we're gonna be moving across the street. So it's gonna be moving day. Last week, John Brinder from the executive director from PA Municipal League stopped in. He couldn't stay very long, but that will bring me to talking about having a delegate, but he presented us, Peter and the chief was kindly kind enough to get our pictures taken. They presented us with a nice plaque because we've been a member of the Pennsylvania Municipal League for forever, and they're celebrating 125 years. So they presented us with this nice plaque.
Cool.
And they had it on there.
Would you, that,
Oh, boy.
you don't like your picture in the paper? Don't answer that.
Too bad.
Yeah. And he did, we were able to talk, not very long, but, they have a lot of, plans right now. They are talking about, the Alice, which I thought was important. They're talking about the local service, money that we get in the $52 that we pay. They're looking to change that or into the state, change that and increase it and let municipalities kind of take the lead on that if we want to increase it, and obviously it will go to public safety and use it, because they're saying 52 is just not enough, and supporting our safety efforts, our public safety. He's a big component on public safety, fire and EMS. So that might be coming down the road where they will be increasing that, have an option to increase that $52.
Any idea what the rating would be?
I think, what did they say, Peter? 162 is the max, but we didn't, it would be up.
Wait, what is the max now? It's gonna go from
It's 52,
52
it's
to
at
1.
52 now,
It would
and
go
the
to
max, 162, yeah,
That's a bump.
yeah. But I don't think anything's passed yet, but that's what they're working on, which brings us to, I did look on more, and you brought this up about, submitting a delegate for a voting delegate
Yes.
as a representative from the borough. Now, again, when I looked into this, the mayor Hood used to go to all of them in the past. He was our delegate. Peter, you went in the past to them. What you would need to do is you would need to be available for Thursday, October 2nd and Friday, October 3rd to attend the resolution committee meeting and the annual business meeting, which is being held up in Erie. That would be at that conference that they're holding. I looked at my calendar. I don't have anything on my calendar. I know, Luke, we talked about that you might attend that municipal leadership. It's the municipal leadership summit. That's October 1st through the 4th in Erie. If any of the council members were looking to go and wanted to be appointed as our elected official, we can fill this form out. If there's nobody, we can.
I used to enjoy going, I can't do it anymore.
So was Mayor Hood appointed to that?
He might have been a long time, but this is the first time I've seen a form like this, but
He was on the executive board. but-
Yeah.
Right, well,
But-
sorry, everyone else wasn't there for the phone call.
And
But we
Dan
had-
Morrell was, also on committees.
Yeah, we weren't
Yeah.
sure if it's how it was in the past, like, did Mr. Mayor get appointed by being elected? Did Mr. had to be appointed and not remember appointing him?
You appoint.
Or someone else for that
And
matter?
at
'cause we weren't
appointed
sure.
meetings, we fill out a form saying this person's is our voting delegate and our alternate, and send in the form. And if we don't have anybody, we put, unfortunately, our municipality will not have a representative during the 2025 summit. So that could be the case too, but I don't, if
Well,
anybody's
'cause I
looking to go to that.
I don't know for sure yet if I'm specifically invited to go to that on Friday. If, I mean, apparently in consideration to be on a panel or something, but,
Here we go.
well, I'd like to go, but again, I don't. Details, but if no one else wants to go, I mean, I would. I at least have a chance of going. It sounds like no one else is.
I work that
like-
weekend, it's IUP homecoming,
You what?
it's IUP homecoming.
So that's not, you're
that
gonna be
would
busy,
be-
all right.
yeah.
That's gonna be busy.
Is of that, so we
Well,
have, like
you
to
don't
know
need-
by
it doesn't say
August.
you need to be there all 4 days. If you need to
No,
be
it,
there for 2 days.
it asked that you be in attendance for the second and the third and
Right,
then
that's what it says. There's
Thursday, and Friday.
actually an email from yesterday asking, telling us to do this by the 29th of August.
Yeah,
And then it has on there exactly what you just said. So we, at least I got, I'm assuming we all got that email. With that information. You didn't get one yesterday from Caitlin Eckerson?
Not that I saw.
Oh, well, I don't mind sharing it with folks if people want to see it. But
Will we get nominated?
You wanna get
I
on?
I
nominate,
cannot nominate me. so-
I nominate.
Sorry.
we can fill out the form, and you can always change your mind. I mean, I could put it in, and then if you can't go, you can't go. We just let them know.
I can't.
Well, so do I vote for my, do I need to vote for myself? That feels weird.
I think you guys have to vote.
No.
It's
We've never
just
done
like
that
we're
before,
appointing
just-
you.
No, it's
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm
We've
willing
never
to
had
go.
people clamoring, you know, what?
Doesn't sound like we have people clamoring now either.
No, it was more
We have
like,
a
hey, do you
25%
wanna go?
chance compared to a
Yeah.
0% chance.
Yeah, I'm already the Indiana County Boroughs Association appointee, but we don't have any.
Okay.
Works out.
Letters on your letterhead, right?
So,
Congratulations, to me, huzzah, okay.
and then if you decide to sign up for the, we can talk about that. If you decide to sign up for the conference, I can help you with that, because I always help the mayor. But
Sure.
we did. We did meet last week. We had that conflict resolution, and I appreciate Chief and, Lieutenant Sabinsky, they both attended along with the supervisors, and Eden attended. It was a 4 hour session, and it was great. It was interactive. All the supervisors were active participating in it, and it was a great session. I think we all got a lot out of it, and hopefully moving forward, we'll maybe have some more like that down the road. I think we all enjoyed it. And that's all I have. Yes. Cool.
This. All right, Chief, please.
Really very short report tonight. I want to thank everyone in our community, all of our council members and everyone on staff that attended National Night Out that was occurring today from 5 PM to 7 PM at IRC Park. I was able to attend before the meeting. I thought the turnout was excellent. A great opportunity for us to build relationships and let folks see some of the things that first responders have and do. And so it's a very sincere thank you. I wanted to mention that from the police department standpoint, Detective Andrew Perry really took the full lead in organizing that night out, and can't thank him enough for his efforts. And there was a great turnout from the police department and from borough staff, so very appreciative of that. And again, of all of our community members that turned out for us. Moving forward, August 10th is the Italian Fest. We've just approved the Coney Island Band and Cornhole event for August 16th. Also, August 16th is the Back to School Bash, so Church Street from the Sixth Street to 7th Street will be closed on Saturday afternoon to facilitate Back to School Bash.
Other than ordering a carpenter, have to do anything.
Yep, right, and then we have the return of our IUP students. This should be the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Classes for IUP, I believe, start the 25th. Classes for Indiana Area School District start the 26th. So it's gonna be a very busy week that week in August, and so We want our community to be prepared. There's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of opportunities probably for height anxiety as you drive through Indiana, especially with the increased pedestrians and movers. And so patience, go slow. Call the police department if you need us. Everybody work together. And that's my report.
Okay, any questions for Chief? Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you. All right, moving on to the solicitor who's not here. In this case, I have your representative, please.
So I will add to that, that our incoming freshman students do move in the 16th and 17th. So they come in a little bit early because we have a week long of activities for them planned on campus. And then all of our upperclassmen typically come in, you know, the tail end of that week, 21st and 2nd.
Are the sports back yet?
Some are back. Football will be starting their practice on the 11th. They start next week, so yeah.
Comes back
Band camp starts
Yeah.
next week. Yeah, so lots of things will be kicking into here. It's a great time. Yeah. I have a pretty brief report as well, of just some general like highlights that happened within the last month. The Rural Health Podcast, we're featuring the first group of medical residents from IRMC that finished their program. So that's on that next episode. Everly, their business MBA program was selected for best on-campus programs by Fritz Review, which was good. We've added a master's degree program for information systems management. We're also going to be adding forensic science. That's coming up, which is really exciting. And something really interesting, I read this article just the other day about the Department of Defense, the prisoner of war and missing in action, the accounting agency credits an IEP team with assisting in identifying a World War II pilot, which it's a really neat story, so good. And then just some reminders to save the date, of course, for our kickoff event for the 150th on Saturday, August 23rd. Tons of things happening down there. It'll be a lot of fun and open to all ages, and everyone. And then, of course, homecoming coming up in October. So that's all I have. We do have our pole banners. They are going to be produced and ready to go up. We want to have those installed before the freshmen come in on the 15th. So those will probably be going up next week.
Nice.
So yeah. Looking forward to an exciting year.
I forgot something very important in my words.
We think of that.
I'm sorry, we have to. I forgot to thank Eden and Hannah for Saturday. They did the community yard sale event, and it was a beautiful day. Next year, council, we need to vote on that a little earlier, okay? Because they pulled it together kind of at they have a month, but I think it's gonna get bigger and better.
There was yard sales all over. I don't know how many people registered. Some of us may have forgotten registered.
There were a lot of yards.
But there was a lot of yard sales. So I don't know how many were actually in the
Yeah.
that one work area,
We
but
had just over 20 people register between residences and our mini market, and all of the people in the mini market said they sold stuff. They all said they should do it again next year. Some people said we should do it every weekend over the summer. Yeah, since they said to start earlier, so the feedback was positive. Hannah's receiving a lot of responses, but even when I was at National Night Out, I ran into a family that was set up in a lot, and they said, yeah, we sold all our son's clothes. It was great. If you need any help, let us know. We'll help next year. And they thought it was good. So it was, yeah, so it was good.
Hannah, they worked hard. They were there all morning, had the map there. It's great. I do think it would be a big event if you keep it like same day, same time, like, making a annual thing. Yeah, so I forgot that and say they did a great job.
well, thank you to both of you. And Jeff, who is looking dashing with his fancy fanny pack.
It was a dual purpose on Saturday. We had some 8th Street stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff was there already with his speaker fanny pack, which is a thing that should not exist, but it does. So,
That's all.
all right. I'm totally lost because I think it's me. All right. Okay. So I was gonna wait until upcoming positive community impacts, but there, I have one, not positive, an upcoming event. That, there's been one specific person in the news recently that I won't name because I don't wanna do that, but you'll. That. She mentioned it, not me, so.
Nobody heard.
Yeah, I didn't hear. Okay, but so coming up on October 4th, this is an event that speaks to that particular kind of thing. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of 821. There's a Global Freedom Summit screening that's gonna be happening at the Summit Church. It is not a church event. So it's non-denominational, there's not gonna be a religious overtones, it just happens to be in a church building. Because it's big enough to house everyone. So, just wanna throw that out there that it's not, if you're Muslim or whatever, you can still go to this thing, has nothing to do with. Like the Christian church that is hosted in, it's just the place people are meeting. So, for anyone who feels any kind of way, come anyway, because it is the Global Freedom Summit is a powerful event designed to raise awareness about human trafficking and equip communities to take action. This format, we hope that more people than ever before will have an opportunity to understand the realities of exploitation and protect themselves and their loved ones and safeguard their communities. Specific focus this year is taking a bold stand against the growing crisis of child sexual exploitation, specifically online. So very recently, there was a specific story, there's been periodic stories of people getting in trouble for these types of things. So this is a summit helping to raise awareness, talking about how different apps may work, things of that nature, more details to come. But I wanted to mention it. Yeah, again, for reasons I don't want to call somebody out. I don't think that's the right form to do it. So, but that's mostly what I had to say. Yeah, everything else I had to say is summer's been crazy. I know there's been a lot of things going on, people working hard, moving back into the building. So I wanted to applaud all the staff as well. Police department being out there in the heat. It has been a very warm summer. And so obviously the fire department and everybody else working hard. I guess when you're a firefighter, like 80 degrees out, fire, man.
Try it sometime.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Fire's like gonna trouble 80 degrees, right?
200 pounds of gear on at the same time.
Yeah.
So they're probably walking into 80 degrees thinking it's air conditioning at that point, but, that's all I had. So give that, Mr. Mayor.
I did a proclamation for the Indiana High School baseball team, and I'm going to do the same thing for the softball team. Because as great as they've been, we want to make sure we recognize that going forward, so that'll happen. And I should have said this during the shade tree report, but we had a tree that was planted in front of the fire station about a year ago. And you go by it and you say it's dead. I say it's dead because I'm not very bright when it comes to trees. And so the arborist came and he said that, no, it's not dead, it's just under stress. So I didn't know the trees had stress, but they do.
Yes.
And so naturally that tree's gonna sit there for a while and be stressed out. And I'm sorry. Maybe it's just because it's in front of a fire station, I don't know. But otherwise, I have nothing else to report tonight. We're working on some different projects and we'll report as we complete them, but I'm done for the night. Thank you.
Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, moving on to old business.
What do you do?
It's also kind of new business though, right? Because you had a new meeting. What's up? This one.
Anyways, that was interesting. I did not know that one. Yeah, I'll just start by saying thanking my colleagues on the Emergency Services Authority, and their willingness to learn, ask hard questions, and explore this new territory as we push the frontier of EMS collaboration. Last night's meeting, we hosted 911 Director Thomas Stutzman, and we went through the process of call to dispatch, and overviewed some of the pressing challenges that a sustainable countywide EMS coverage experiences. It was productive and really eye-opening, and it reinforced that today's challenges are far too big for any one entity to solve with the tools that we're already using. We need bold, coordinated, and forward-thinking solutions to put public safety first. I'm grateful for this council's continued support and I remain available to you and to the public to carry this forward.
I think we need to report on how things are going with the authority now that White Township has dropped
I was
out.
about to ask that question.
White Township has never been a participant in the authority. They had attended some of the meetings. I spoke with their manager quite frequently and still continue to speak with them quite frequently. And they are pursuing a contracted option. We understand that Citizens has continued to pursue contracts with municipalities independently. As they should. I mean, funding is the most important thing right now facing EMS. The ability to have the finances, to get the workforce, and to be the provider, to provide EMS coverage. It's really a dynamic system that I'm learning and. Citizens covers not just Indiana, they cover all of the counties around us, in significant ways. So finding ways to work together is of the utmost importance moving forward.
So let me ask you this question, because I think it's I was gonna ask a similar question. So let's just use just the county for the sake of this question. So the county is, let's call it 80,000 people. Of that 80,000 people, if all 80,000 people had signed up, our price would have been X, right? So in this particular instance, White Township has a large number of people. So is that now gonna be calculated as an 80,000 minus White Township?
They were never going to be in the calculus and.
Right, but the more people that signed up
Right.
was projected at potentially lowering the final
Well,
cost.
Well,
So-
we still have a majority of municipalities, 31 out of 38 municipalities are still members of the board, I believe, and still members of IC Mesa. So there is still a scale thing, but it's also very reductionist to think of it in that scope, right? So when we're thinking about setting the fee, what we're doing is kind of balancing, okay, so like, what's the expectation that this fee is going for? And that's really one of the things that I've learned when looking at like best practices for EMS contracting, is you need to make sure that there is a plan in place and that both the provider and the municipality are aware of progress on that plan and communicating that progress successfully. And that's something that we haven't seen happen with the money that some of our providers have received in the past.
So what they had talked about at the meeting so many moons ago at this point was a budgetary number. I don't know if this is exact, I'm just gonna say $5 million.
Yeah.
But their expenses were less than that, so what they had pitched it as was. Those were the survival expenses, so the thriving expenses, able to
Right.
add trucks, equipment, maybe pay staff better, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That's why the number was bigger, right?
Yeah.
So if that $5 million was, again, I'm making, vague memory of numbers.
So I can put you into numbers.
Hang on, I have a-
Citizens
I
mentioned
have a
that they,
specific question though.
okay,
So my point is, if their expenses are here and the authority was projected to come in here. Well, now if White Township has their own amount, we shouldn't be footing the entire hunk of the expenses.
Correct.
Correct?
That would
That's
go-
what I meant by
Yeah,
the
yeah,
number
yeah.
would be
Oh, yeah.
some
No,
incremental lowered.
the revenues that
That's the theory.
White Township would be supporting would go into that calculus.
Right.
Yeah, right, because
Okay.
we'll probably most likely know that value before we enter into our fee.
That's what I was
Yeah,
asking.
so our fee hearing is probably gonna be in October, we're aiming for, originally we had wanted September, but October, but according to Citizens Calculus. What they need to stop stopgap funding for year 2026 is about $33 per household, I think it was, when they did their presentation to municipalities.
Okay.
And that was to make sure that they would be funded in completion and able to continue service at the level that exists through till 2027, by their own calculus. What had been passed around was anything from 100, 75, 50. That's something that is ongoing, and we're actually addressing that topic next week. If you'd like to comment here, a really interesting debate on.
I think Luke's, you're on the right track, because originally it was calculated at anywhere from $75 to $100 per household
Right,
for every,
right.
that included White Township. White Township now pulls out of there, so that number has to go up per
Not
household.
necessarily.
But then they send their
Oh,
own.
yeah, it will. And what's missing is that leaves Indiana Borough then to carry a lot more of the load.
That's
I
assuming that,
disagree.
I disagree with that, because that's assuming that we are, the authority is the only one responsible for the stopgap between survival and thriving. And that's what we're discussing. with the
Right, I think-
county.
I think-
Like township still has to pay for
Right.
upkeep of materials, not just like.
And let's be clear, that original number, $75 or $100, that was with the expectation of significant physical investment right off the bat to reach a level. It has now become aware to most everyone in EMS that without the workforce, you can't grow to that size, right? Without hurting somebody else. So this is like a non-starter. So that value is significantly decreased from there. And I think that our next step is to get service providers together in a group along with the regional organization, I believe it's called EMS West. And to sit down and talk about this, because we really want to start from a place where we're helping all the people who come into our area, but we're not driving them in a way to weaken their support for their home districts. So, I mean, it's really dynamic.
Well, I mean, it's been complicated since the beginning, that's why it's been.
And I think what you're missing is the coordination that we have with Indiana Borough and White Township when it comes to fire protection. Because we forever have done that together. And the ambulance service needs to be the same way.
Right.
So if.
It's not there.
Yeah, and because. If the contract that White Township has with citizens is the normal one, the authority comes in and says, well, no, that's not the way we want to do it. That's gonna throw everything out of kilter. As far as how we present and protect the community. So I think we want to be very careful once you start to split up Indiana Borough and White Township.
That was their decision too.
Yeah, that was
Like,
their
there's
decision to
ownership
break
of that
from the-
decision.
But I think that's bad.
I understand why they broke from the.
Right, but that doesn't mean they'll be.
But that doesn't-
Given the priority or given the leverage and all of the discussion.
White Township will do what White Township does to protect White Township, and they've said that many times
Yeah,
over.
that's been the same.
So
story
what's wrong
with
with what-
everything.
It doesn't change.
I'm not here to
the point,
protect
though, that we
White
need to
Township.
make sure to be, just
Yeah.
approach cautiously, which we've been
Yeah.
doing.
You're
They
here
don't
to
play
protect
for-
Indiana Borough,
Correct,
Correct,
not the authority, but Indiana Borough.
correct.
correct. And we all voted to move forward with authority, so.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
need
but
to
I think
see it
things-
through.
We're making it.
I think you need to continue to pay close attention to where the authority is going.
Well,
As-
I think,
If anyone has any questions, hi, my name is Jonathan, I'm the chairman of the SDSM.
Yeah.
I think the mayor is making a good point, though, I think we've been doing that, though, I think it's approach with caution, educate as much as we possible.
Right.
Before moving to the next step with as much information as possible. I don't think that's a bad point.
No,
No, it's not a bad point. I just think, White Township has shown themselves, in my experience, to be out for White Township across the board, across every single dynamic that I've seen them work through. So like, it doesn't surprise me that they didn't want to participate.
And the other thing that really hasn't come up is IUP. We've got to consider how that is going to be taken care of too, because I know when I was working with this, Indiana Borough and White Township, Indiana Borough and IUP, we were working as one to take care of it all in one fashion. I haven't heard anything about IUP.
I talked to Dr. Driscoll about it. And we don't have the authority to make a decision on their behalf.
they're a state.
It's just the way that it stands is they have to have an independent discussion,
Yeah,
is my understanding from Dr. Driscoll. So,
Well, and the way it's set up right now is IUP has a contract with citizens.
right,
IUP has a contract with Indiana Fire Association. That's how they do it each year.
Right.
So it's something that's negotiated.
yeah,
It would really look the same as what White Township is doing now with citizens. So I just want to show that there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that are really kind of the same thing. But you've got to be very careful about the authority because it's going to be tough to satisfy everybody.
well, that's,
Together.
so far that's proved very true. It's hard to make everybody happy.
To everyone in the room's points. I think the most important for Indiana Borough's public safety at my core is to maintain citizens ambulance and a cooperative effort in some way, shape or form, whatever that looks like with White Township, IUP, Indiana Borough and our partners close because there are no fences or walls separating Indiana Borough from IUP from White Township. So Citizens Ambulance has provided an excellent service to the police department. And however it works to provide EMS service. I just don't want that to be lost in the mix, that would be
Yeah.
very important too.
Well, yeah, as long as we can come up with, and the whole point is come up with the funding, right? They're the contracted business, I'm a business owner. I'm gonna work with Peter and Jonathan the same, even if they're paying me from different
Yeah,
accounts. As long as, you know what I mean, I have enough money to stay in business, and I think that's the big thing, citizens has to remain a viable entity, no matter how we slice it.
with the
So-
plan.
Right. Okay, any other discussion points on EMS storage? No, okay, I have an old business, question. So maybe this is quick, maybe it's not, maybe it's another day. So I am seeing several, zoning ordinance. What's the word I'm looking for? When you get the letter in the mail, telling you they're gonna have a
zoning hearing board.
right,
Mhm.
specifically for adding of skill. So that's more and more,
Cause every business popping up once on.
and so I know that we have a fee involved. Which is stopping no one barely from getting
And
more
those
and more
letters
of
just
them.
went out.
So I can't figure out if we're supposed to clap or if we're supposed to raise the rate, or I don't know. Is there,
At least they're keeping the taxes paid and they're doing their gambling in the store rather than on their phones at home.
Can we raise it again?
We did, so the letter, this year's letters went out. Now they were prorated. We didn't charge them 6, I think we charged them $4.20. And then next year in January, February, they'll get their
right,
fee for next year,
Seems
600.
like anything,
I-
they'll be
they're-
away.
It's because it's the other laundromat going in, because they have the same gentleman who has the 14th Street laundromat is putting one in a different location, and he wants them in there. That, I can tell you they're everywhere, I don't. But every time I walk in, I'm like, well, that's $600, that's $600, that's $600.
goal sits
Why don't
down.
we, whatever, let's put it into the grand park. Call it Pennsylvania
Well,
Skills
does
Park.
the code department monitor
Our
that?
foundation.
They monitor
Into
every
each
business.
Yeah.
business, and then like the other day, I just said, Brenda, I'm like, here's another one on, she's like,
But do they have to, do the businesses have to check in with the borough and say,
they have to register.
we have this many games, and then there's an audit of the business
Yeah.
actually.
We put a sticker on each one of those machines.
Yeah.
Sticker look like I'm gonna start.
I have market stickers.
Is that,
$500
money-
to get
does that
sticker.
money get separated or where does that money go?
It's going into the code, the
Wherever those fees go.
permits, fees and fines, or and stuff like that.
So
That's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of money, probably take down their house where the stream is.
It's probably not like 18,000.
Well, either way, I just noticed more and more of them.
Brenda, see how many they sent out. I mean, I don't even know if we got all.
Yeah,
I don't think we did.
Okay, well, I mean, it was more of a general, I don't know, I see more and more letters. Have any specific goal for the conversation, but sounds like there's not too much. Okay. Any other old business? Okay, in which case, moving on to new business. We have an action, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't one.
Michael Clay Baker, client agreement.
Okay, do we have,
I'll move to approve the client agreement between Michael Baker, is that international? Oh, we got the.
Yeah, international.
Okay, and Indiana Borough for consulting work on the 8th Street initiative.
now, this is where we had, I'm
I
sorry.
need a second.
I'll second. Okay, sorry, discussion. I apologize.
They needed to
I
add,
needed to add, right.
they added what the actual services were, and that was
I missed that.
exhibit A, I guess like the rest of it.
Yes, that was the whole,
The scope of work.
Okay,
yeah.
so Pat's not here to ask if he's okay with it, but I'm assuming,
We're not, the funding's coming from, when you said there's no funding, the borough's not paying any funding, it's actually coming from our CDBG, the planning dollars, the $10,000 planning dollars that we had for twenty
Yeah.
twenty-four. And then and then DI's committed 7,000 to it. So it's not, there's no funding coming out of like the borough's funds other than CDBG. So,
Did I just know this? Oh, I know why, because it was a Word document, not a, sorry. Okay, so is there any further discussion then? They added the scope of work.
And on the second to last page, to the monies, the dollar amount started.
So why did it say there's no fees?
Well, we're not, this is not part of the, right, it's CDBG funds
It's
paid
CDBG
for
funds.
some of the planning. And that's all of our financial contribution, everything, we're just participating, everybody else is spending money at this point.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the borough's CDBG funds, but it's the planning dollars. that were allocated.
Maybe it was just an accidental omission the first time, but it feels like, so we are spending some level of money.
It's already been.
Well, originally it said no fee, right? That's what it
Because,
said.
yeah,
There is a fee.
we
There
are.
is a fee, but yes, where it's not coming. I don't know how you wanna look at it.
Well, either way, point is it's in there now. So, whatever. In which case then we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? So does that mean we need a roll call vote since we're not spending money, but we are somehow?
You wanna just do it.
Yeah.
That would seem to be safe.
Yeah.
Rod,
Yes.
Palazzo. Advisor,
Yes.
Rick. Leicester,
Yes.
Newell,
Yes.
Carniso,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Six, yes.
Okay, and so that was new business. Okay. We already did the event in October. Thing. It'll be, okay. Upcoming events, positive community impacts, I already gave mine away. There's so many upcoming events, my goodness.
Eden has one on here.
Yeah, and I mean, Chief gave a good list of
Oh, yes.
things across town. But since we are moving back, we got the spot for the Chambers month. They do a monthly coffee connection, so that will be hosted at the Borough Building on the 26th. It's Tuesday morning at 8 AM. It's early. But people can come in and kind of see the new building, but I've been to those events. It's really nice. They typically do get a pretty good turnout for a pre-work networking event. Into September, loosely, I think I can say this, we will have some open house opportunities when we're back in. So we'll keep everyone informed of those things. But as far as borough events, that's really it. The charrette and the end of September, just keep reminding everyone the 25th and 26th. Few positive things, Trajan. Just to mention about our staff, Trajan was able to work with the Philadelphia Education Fund last week before going on vacation. They hosted VA Student Engagement Committee at IEP. So it was a big planning thing, so he was on a panel that worked with those students. And then last month, Nicole nominated me for the award as well, that I was awarded, so there are some cool things that are going on.
Freeze right past. What was he work?
Yeah.
PA Business Central Signature Leaders Under 30, so.
Hey, that's cool.
yeah, so
Congratulations.
That was a lot of things going on.
And I'll be expecting to get an award.
We did, it's not in the, there'll be a magazine.
It was posted in their online issue.
Oh, you're gonna share that?
Yeah, it's on our LinkedIn, so,
Good job.
yes. But those are all of our events. We're slowing down. I'm slowing down. I won't be popping up any new events for you guys anytime soon, so we can slow down. on
You got a
that.
good excuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have a positive community impact. We always have a lot of events. What's a positive?
Flag football championship is Saturday, if anyone wants to come 2 to 8, 2 to 7, we got 5 games. They're playing at 3 o'clock.
This is all women.
This will be the short one. Dave Fairman will not text me to congratulate me. We in Orleans.
Sorry, I have to ask about that. If we want to do something for Dave, that's a big.
He has a tree.
He does have a tree and, does, yes, he have a tree,
Yeah,
shade tree dedicated a tree.
we need to hire.
No. An absolute minimum. You know, our hearts and
We're gonna rename the public works building.
thoughts and prayers to go to his family, you know.
the park over, when we tear down the. house
Grand Park?
Over the.
Right.
The creek.
All right, that's not good.
Maybe one thing of a green space, like we have a
Something.
green space down the road.
Yeah, and this has come up a few times over the last year or two, so having a more formalized list of things that we would like to dedicate our name after moving forward, because we do have a lot of park projects coming up and trees are always a popular choice, but if we can have a list of that, it's something that we
That's a
can
good idea.
include in our grant applications or whatever, as we work on some of those spaces too, so.
Yeah, yeah, because we've had unfortunately some recent people pass recently, so. Okay, anything else for upcoming events or positive community? All right, then, which days then get the executive session, do we have a motion to?
Move to adjourn.
In which case,
I don't open